Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. I'm Peter Martin, delighted to have your company on the February 6th show, which is a Wednesday, which means it's Alan Ruff and Barry Ferguson with me here in the studio. And we have lots to talk about ahead of a full card of fixtures in the Premiership in Scotland. Yeah, lots to talk about on the programme tonight. And of course, we're going to look forward to those 6 matches in the Premiership. Will there be a few twists and turns top and bottom as well? There's also, as ever, ahead of the games, a fair bit of needle from managers ahead of them. And Steve Clarke and Steven Gerrard, no love lost between the two of them, Barry. Steven Gerrard let him have it with both barrels yesterday, and also has criticised Steve Clarke for not turning up at the referee summit just over a month ago.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that he never turned up, because I like Stevie Clarke. Look, he's honest, he's open when he comes out in his interviews, and he's critical of some of the refereeing decisions. But obviously, he didn't fancy turning up to the meeting with the referees and the managers, which is disappointing, because I think he's the type of guy that you'd want there, because as I says, he speaks his own mind. But also getting into the Defoe situation, I says on Monday, I don't think you can compare Jordan Jones and Defoe. I don't know where Stevie Clarke's coming from. I think it was 2 different incidents. Defoe obviously got up, he's went down, but he's got up, and the referees gave a penalty decision, so I don't think there was any cheating on behalf of Defoe. So I've got to back Steven Gerrard on that. Yeah,
I actually thought Barry called it right as far as the 2 incidents were concerned. I mean, we obviously, everybody and their grannies had an opinion on how many were penalties in the match, but the Steve Clarke and Steven Gerrard tit for tat has obviously kicked off with regards to referees. This ongoing debate of whether they're good enough, whether they need help, Ruffy. Derek McInnes has obviously said, look, if you keep criticising them, it's not a positive thing to do, because the referees get demoralised. We could get ourselves with another strike possibly, but he does believe that poor referees should be punished.
Well, I keep repeating myself here that there are supervisors every game. Even in our division, in the Championship, there's a supervisor sits and marks the referees 1 minute to 90 or whatever. Everything is jotted down, and the bad ones don't get the big games. It's there for, all they need is somebody for the Referee Association to come out and tell everybody, if you get a bad mark, you're not going to get a high-profile semi-final game, a final game. Somebody else will get it with better marks than you. You won't get any of the UEFA, FIFA games. So the referees are under pressure to come out of games with a clean bill of health. We know that it doesn't happen all the times, but I think Derek's wrong here. They do get marked down and don't get these games.
Yeah, I keep going on about it. Who would want to be a referee? Crazy. But I feel sorry for them, because, as I says, it's easier for us watching replays. They've got a split second to make a decision. Like going back to the Dallas getting a lot of criticism for the 4 penalties. One of them was the linesman gave the penalty, because you could see him looking over the linesman, and that's what linesmen are there to try and help out the referees. But I feel for the referees, it's a difficult job for them, and they need help, and the only help they're going to get is they bring VAR in. Yeah. That's it.
Are they as bad as everyone is making out?
No, I don't think they are. I'll be honest with you. I watch games down in England and I see some bad decisions getting made. They're only human. They're going to make decisions, bad decisions at times. I don't think our referees are any worse down in England or abroad where I watch football on TV. So I don't think that's right in saying that we've got the worst referees.
Yeah, I also don't think it's helpful, Ruffy, when we start getting to a situation where people are talking about who a referee supported as a boy or who he supports. I think we're actually delving into the gutter at times, and all of this, criticism of referees that's intensified. This has come about because suddenly there's a title challenge on. That's why it's accelerated, because quite simply, you have conspiracy theories, you then get questioning whether the referee should be demoted, there are people calling on the SFA to make decisions. This is all about competition, and it's all about cranking up the pressure. And every manager and the players are all guilty of it.
Yeah, and that's why they held that meeting. And it was pleasing to see that Stephen Gerrard came out and said that he really appreciated the meeting to see where the referees are coming from and where it affects them away from the football, their work and their families and everything. So that was positive, but unfortunately, as you've said, the pressure that some managers are under just can't hold themselves back, particularly right after games when decisions have went against them, and the automatic thing they say is, that these decisions are costing us our jobs and all that. But as Barry said, the guys aren't making these mistakes deliberately so people are going to lose their jobs. They're just making honest mistakes.
Yeah, I think clubs have a responsibility, Barry, to stop trying to deflect away from their own deficiencies.
Yep, I totally agree with you. I go back to it. I honestly, 100% certain in this that a referee doesn't go out in a game to make a decision. Forget who he supports, they're professional. These referees, I'm not buying into it, and it's sad, as you mentioned earlier, that they're bringing in, whether it's religion or whatever team the referees supported when they were a young kid. I don't think that should come into it. And I honestly believe when they go out in the pitch and they cross that white line, they try and do the job to the best of their ability.
Yeah, okay. As far as tonight is concerned, if there are indeed contentious issues, I'm sure we'll be back at it tomorrow on the programme, reflecting on some of the key decisions that had, a bearing on possibly the title race, or indeed, as Barry mentioned there at the bottom end, at the future of some managers. Here's how the fixtures look for Wednesday night, and there are two cracking games to look forward to. In fact, I'd go as far as to say everything is up for grabs here with so many teams. Aberdeen against Rangers, Celtic Hibernian, Dundee against Kilmarnock, Hamilton St Johnstone, Hearts at home to Livingston, and St Mirren against Motherwell. Points so crucial for every one of the clubs. Of course, before we go and get our predictions on this one, let's have a look from our reporter Gabriel Antoniazzi on the forum guide.
Welcome to another midweek odds preview. Let's start with Aberdeen against Rangers, the biggest fixture of this game week. Stephen Gerrard's side haven't beaten the Dons in their last 4 attempts, and this one could end up a draw. You can get 11-2 for 1-1. Celtic host Hibernian, but will be without James Forrest, meaning Timo Weah could play from the start. The American is 9-2 to score first. Kilmarnock will look to get back to winning ways with a visit to Dens tonight. Killian nearly evens for the away victory. Another home game for Brian Rice and Hamilton gives them a great chance to pick up much needed points. Accies are 11-4 to win the match. Hearts are hitting form at the right time with players returning from injury. However, it's the opposite for Livy, who are slipping in the league and could lose again tonight. 3-4 is great value for a Hearts win. And St Mirren will look at tonight's game as a must-win, but Motherwell have won their last 5 matches. What does that mean? You could find value with Motherwell to win from behind 10-1.
Yeah, there you have it. There's the odds on it, Ruffy. I mean, we have our score predictor at times. It's been neck and neck. Now it's just a case of trying to keep you interested because you're like a wee boy that's had his ice cream and there's none left now because there's nothing there on offer for you. But nevertheless, I have to say to you, at the top end, if you have a look at the table and the bottom end, it's all alive here. I mean. Yeah. Celtic and Rangers tonight, everybody, it's one of those nights, Ruffy, where I think you actually have the, as we called it in those days in the 70s and 80s, the tranny by your ear, wondering what's going to be happening at Pittodrie, wondering what's happening at Celtic Park.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for Rangers because, as Barry's already mentioned, they're now on game to game, can't lose a game. And that's must be a horrible feeling, if you're a player getting into every game with everybody saying, that you lose this game, you're out of this. So that makes it even more exciting for every game, and I'm sure players lift their game knowing that and get into it. For me, the bottom one, you know, the two, every game you get at home, you're going to say, right, 3 points, and these teams at the bottom who have got home games need to make that work for them.
Yeah, bottom end is alive and well with St Mirren, of course. Hamilton Accies in there. Dundee still not out of the mix as well. Don't forget, you can give us your view on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course on Twitter to all the topics we are discussing. Give us your thoughts on your favourite team as well and how you think they're going to fare, and reaction to the games tonight on tomorrow night's programme. We will be back and hear from Steven Gerrard next. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. We've had a look at the form of the teams, the odds. Up at Pittodrie, Aberdeen against Rangers. This one, when you look at the form guide, Aberdeen with 2 wins and a draw in the 3 fixtures beforehand, Barry.
Yep, you've got to take your hat off to not just Derek McInnes, but the players. They were getting a bit of stick leading up to the start of December. And obviously Derek came out in the press and says there was a hell of a lot of games squeezed in before the winter shutdown. But they went on a tremendous run, Peter. Some of the football they played, scoring goals. So it's a tough task for Rangers to go up there. It's always tough going up to Pittodrie, you know, the kind of rivalry they've got with each other. But I keep saying it, Rangers can't lose any more ground on Celtic. Rangers have got to go up there. No, they know what they need to do. They need to win the game, as simple as that. But Aberdeen, as I say, is in fine form just now. Yep,
unbeaten in 6 matches, but Steven Gerrard says the form between the two sides when they've come head to head means nothing.
It's a big game for us, big 3 points at stake. I don't think previous games are important anymore. But obviously we'll respect Aberdeen because they've took 2 important results away from us late on in games, and also the first game of the season in the league they scored late on as well. So the respect's certainly there, but it's all about the game that's in the future and the game that's up and coming, and we need to go there and perform at a level that's capable of getting the 3 points. Well, I think we have to take our chances when they come about. We have to be productive in the final third, because we've been guilty of missing chances, and to be fair to Joe Lewis, he's made some really good saves against us in previous games, and we've been guilty of giving silly set pieces away and being punished on a couple of occasions late on with stupid set pieces.
Rangers unbeaten in 3, 10 goals scored, only 1 conceded. Of course, this is a huge game. Every game now in the run-in could be crucial to their title aspirations, and that's possibly why James Tavernier has said the game against Aberdeen is every bit as big as Celtic.
Yeah, every game that we come against Aberdeen, it's always a tough game. You know, it's just as big as Derby as against Celtic. So the fans want to win and the boys want to win. So we've got to go up there and show the level of consistency what we have shown in previous games, and put on a performance.
Always a wee bit of needle in this one for some historical unsavoury reasons, but nevertheless, the reason why there's a bit of needle as far as the two teams are concerned is because right now we have 4 teams all in the mix.
Yeah, it's great. Up the top of the league, as I say, Aberdeen were mid-table, getting into I think the middle of December, start of December. So all credit to them, as I say, they went on a 6-game unbeaten run. They've deserved it, showing good form. So that's what it's all about, Scottish football. 4 teams going for it, and I think it's going to get right down to the wire. It's one of these seasons where Celtic, the last 2 seasons, it's been a course for them. But they know now that they need to start producing as well. So the Rangers, so the Aberdeen, and don't rule out Kilmarnock. I know they did the feat against Hearts last week, but they've been fantastic again.
You fancy Rangers to get the points up at Pittodrie?
They've got to, Peter. They can't, as I says after the Kilmarnock game, they can't drop any more points. So they need to go up there with the mindset and forget how you play. Just come away with 3 points.
I've got them down for a draw, Ruffy. What about you?
Yeah, I've got them for a draw as well. I think both teams are in good form. That's why I can't close the gap.
Yeah.
Keep agreeing with what you're saying. But no, I think, are you? Oh, good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking for a draw. No, I think both teams are in good form. Obviously, Aberdeen have got the home advantage, but I think this is the kind of game where Derek McInnes and Gerrard will be looking at his players and say, right, how many are you going to turn up on the night? because any time that the both of them have failed, both managers have said the players have let themselves down. So I think it's whatever big players on either side turn up tonight, but I still think it'll be a draw.
OK, what about Hibs' journey to Celtic Park, Ruffy? Because they're without a manager. A name that nobody in Scotland really knows too much about, Paul Heckingbottom, is front runner for this one. We know he's ex-Barnsley, ex-Leeds United. We know he puts a lot of faith in the youth and trying to build a team. I'm not going to be in any way dismissive of his qualities. What I would suggest at this point is maybe with a lack of knowledge of the Scottish game, and he'll want to build his own side, I think Hibs, if they do plump for this guy, could be facing 1-2 years of a transitional period again, whereas with Neil Lennon, their aspirations, because of the manager and his experience, were far greater than where I think they're going now with this.
Well, I think unfortunately for the new manager, whoever it is, he's going to be under pressure because the fans really liked Neil Lennon's style, and if this new manager was to come in, not hit the ground running, maybe a couple of defeats that aren't expected, I think the fans would turn on not only him, unfortunately, but the board as well, because I don't think they think that the board handled this particular situation well, and he was well liked, with everything he'd done. The fans bought into what he was trying to do, so whoever it is, I think is going to be under pressure. Yeah,
I often find it funny, not that you react to what I call the mad people who are on social media at times, Barry, but some of them are saying, oh, this is the mainstream media, all the friends of Neil Lennon. I wasn't aware he had too many friends, Neil Lennon, when it comes to some of the treatment he's received in the media. But this is not about that. This is about a club that, for me, was showing great ambition to get him off the back of, the likes of Alan Stubbs with the Scottish Cup. Delivery. He got them out of the Championship, which they were finding very difficult to do. He was a manager with a good pedigree.
Yeah, I don't think friends has anything to do with it. I think if you just look at the job that Neil Lennon done, as you mentioned there, got them out of the Championship. Last season, I thought they were fantastic. You just have to watch the way they played. Great to watch. I know they lost a few goals at the back, but going forward, they were an exciting team to watch on TV. I go back to, I think Hibs will rue letting him go. I really do. I think all the players, you've seen a few of the players come out and do a few interviews. They liked him, but he was tough. But there's nothing up with being tough or demanding. That's what football's all about. He just had high expectations, and he had demands that he wanted to go and try and push Rangers and Celtic. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I think Hibs are going to have a difficult job in replacing him. It's got to be somebody that's got to come in and play a certain style of football, because the Hibs fans have been used to that. And as Ruffy said, if they don't get that, the Hibs fans will be frustrated and they'll start calling for the manager.
Yep, OK. As far as the game is concerned, doesn't get any tougher, I suppose. Going up against the champions, who are on a run where they don't want to let their foot come off the gas at the top. They've got a 6-point advantage, and Chris Davis, the assistant, I think echoing the sentiments of everyone at Celtic. This one is by no means a foregone conclusion.
Hibs, difficult game. They've always been a difficult opponent for us, home and away. Speed, intensity, some good players. So for me, that's a difficult game. But we have to just, as always, focus on ourselves, focus on our game, bring our intensity, our quality to the game, and we should get the win. But on the back of, the last couple of weeks they've had, I certainly wouldn't underestimate them at all. And that's not something that we'll be doing.
They've got what looks like a Scott Brown getting back to full fitness. Now, he says he gets motivated by people writing him off. I think quite a number of people jumped on the bandwagon in the Scottish Cup semi-final when Rangers won the penalty shootout against Celtic. They were highly critical of him under Ronnie Dyler. He bounced back big time. And again, he reckons people are writing him off, saying his legs have gone. But he was good against St Johnstone.
Yeah, listen, you're going to get that. He's captain of a massive club. The spotlight's always going to be on the main player, and Scott Brown certainly is Celtic's main player. Look, the Rangers game, it was probably the poorest I've seen him for a long time. He's went away and had his break, and he's come back, and I thought he looked good. I've got to agree with you, he did look good against St Johnstone. He broke away a couple of times, showed good energy, but listen, he's experienced enough to realise if things don't go right on the pitch, Celtic have a defeat, he's going to get the brunt of it. He knows that's what you get when you captain a big club. And the only way to stop people having a go at you or criticising you is start performing on the pitch.
Okay, briefly, because we're running out of time, guys. Celtic Hibs, Ruffy?
I think Celtic will eventually wear them down.
Celtic won the game.
That was brief, wasn't it, Ruffy?
Yep.
Hamilton against St Johnstone.
St Johnstone, 2-1.
St Johnstone to win.
Okay, Dundee against Kilmarnock, Ruffy?
I think Dundee will get a win in them. I'm going to go for Dundee.
No, Kilmarnock will win that game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Barry. Hearts against Livingston, Ruffy?
Hearts, Livingston have gone.
A comfy win for Hearts.
Yeah, there you are. All the Livy fans, you know where to tweet. Livingston have gone, says Ruffy. St Mirren against Motherwell.
I think Motherwell in fine form. Motherwell win this one.
Motherwell for me.
Okay, there you have it. You've got the opinions on the programme. You can give us your opinion on Facebook, on Twitter and YouTube as well. We'd love to hear from you. Tomorrow, Gordon Smith will be with us reflecting on the Wednesday results. Good night.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.